اعوذ باللہ من الشیطان الرجیم بسم اللہ الرحمن الرحیم رب اشرح لی صدری ویسر لی امری واحلل عقدۃ من لسانی یفقہوا قولی. معزز ناظرین السلام علیکم ورحمۃ اللہ وبرکاتہ. سیدہ فرت حسین مخصوص پروگرام کے ساتھ حاضر خدمت ہیں، اور آج کا ہمارا جو ٹاپک اور موضوع ہے وہ بہت زیادہ امپورٹنٹ ہے، جس سلسلے میں آج ہم نے یہ اسپیشل پروگرام جو ہے اس کو آرگنائز کیا ہے. اور میرے ساتھ اس پروگرام میں میرے کو ہوسٹ آپ کی جانی پہچانی شخصیت مسٹر مشتاق علی وزیر صاحب ہیں، جو ہمارے پروگرام کو کنڈکٹ کریں گے انشاءاللہ. اور اردو اور انگلش میں انشاءاللہ ہم اس پروگرام کو آپ تک پہنچائیں گے. اور اس میں ہمارے بہت ہی رسپیکٹفل گیسٹ بھی شامل ہوں گے انشاءاللہ، مختلف ایکسپرٹیز کے، جس میں ہمارے ساتھ جو ہیں شیفیلڈ سے ڈاکٹر عائزہ نقوی صاحبہ ہیں. وہ کنسلٹنٹ اسٹروک اینڈ فزیشین ہیں. اور ان کے ساتھ جو ہیں وہ سعید الحق سعید صاحب ہیں، جو لیڈ آرگنائزر سٹیزن یو کے، اور موسٹ رسپیکٹفل ہمارے اسکالر شیخ نورو صاحب، ویری پاورفل اسپیکر. ہم بہت شکر گزار ہیں ان کے کہ انہوں نے اپنا قیمتی ٹائم ہم کو دیا، اور آج کے اس پروگرام میں وہ ہمارے اس موضوع کے حوالے سے ہمارے ویورز کو اویئر کریں گے اس کی امپورٹنس کے حوالے سے انشاءاللہ. تو جیسا کہ ناظرین آپ کو معلوم ہے، آپ لوگ اسکرین پہ دیکھ بھی رہے ہیں کہ آج کا جو پروگرام کا موضوع ہے وہ خون اور اعضاء کے عطیے کے ڈونیشن کے بارے میں اویئرنیس پیدا کرنا ہے، کیونکہ ہماری کمیونٹی میں اس بارے میں زیادہ معلومات نہیں ہے. لہٰذا آج کا یہ پروگرام اپنی کمیونٹی کو بلڈ اینڈ آرگن ٹرانسپلانٹ کے حوالے سے آپ کی خدمت میں پیش کیا جا رہا ہے. اور اس پروگرام میں ہم بہت ہی تھینکفل ہیں اپنی جماعت کے SIMC، جو کہ بلڈ اینڈ ٹرانسپلانٹ NHS کی طرف سے ایک پروجیکٹ جن کو دیا گیا ہے، اور جس کے ذریعے سے ہماری کمیونٹی کے خیالات اور نظریات کو معلوم کرنے کی کوشش کی جائے گی کہ ہماری کمیونٹی میں بلڈ اور جسمانی اعضاء اور خون اور جسمانی اعضاء کے عطیے کے بارے میں ہماری کمیونٹی کس طرح سے سوچتی ہے اور سمجھتی ہے، اور ہم کتنا ان کو اویئر کر سکتے ہیں اور اس کی طرف متوجہ کر سکتے ہیں. تو ہم پروگرام کو آگے بڑھاتے ہوئے اپنے کو ہوسٹ مسٹر مشتاق علی وزیر صاحب سے میں کہوں گی کہ وہ اس کو ذرا اور بہتر طریقے سے اگر ایکسپلین کر سکیں، اس پروگرام کے حوالے سے بات کریں. جی مسٹر مشتاق علی وزیر صاحب.
تھینک یو سیدہ فرت حسین صاحبہ. السلام علیکم viewers. To start with a little about the context for today's discussion, KSIMC, which stands for Khuja Shia Isna Shari Muslim Community of Birmingham, has been commissioned by National Health Service Blood and Transplant to get insight from its network on views on blood donation. The initiative is centered on developing a grassroots network to overcome inequalities within blood and organ donation. Similarly, several other organizations have commissioned to do similar conversations in other parts of Birmingham, London and Manchester. KSIMC are not working alone. They are working with several other civil society organizations such as Citizens UK and Saatchi House. NHS Blood and Transplant aim to work with organizations to create a grassroots network that helps to signpost and motivate others around issues of health inequality. NHS Blood and Transplant hope to work with trusted and authentic voices in the community to deliver these messages and make a real change for those whose lives will be improved or saved by blood and organ donation. KSIMC is not appointed to promote blood donations. Rather, it is about understanding community members' views, and this is being done via having a one-to-one discussion or conversations, roundtable discussions, and programs such as this on Hidayat TV. Now, National Health Service needs a consistent supply or a constant supply of blood to keep the country going strong during the COVID-19 pandemic. It's especially important for rarer blood types, so the NHS can provide life-saving transfusions to patients across the country. NHS blood and transplant need nearly 400 new donors every day. It might not need to call on all these donors all the time, but NHS needs new people every day to guarantee a full supply of blood types to every patient the whole year round. And if you have a rare blood type, you can do an astonishing amount of good. For example, did you know that O negative blood is the only universal blood type that can be used for anybody, no matter what their own blood type is? For whatever reason, people stop giving blood all the time. Nobody gives blood all the time continuously, i.e. on a consistent basis, maybe because of old age, maybe because of ill health, so on and so forth. It's got nothing to do with the experience of giving blood itself. Though a survey from 2015 found that 9 in 10 donors said giving blood was either giving blood was either they had expected or even easier than they expected it to be. Approximately, the NHS needs 135,000 new blood donors each year to replace those who can't donate anymore for various reasons, as I described earlier. Thankfully, last year people went above and beyond this figure because of the pandemic. Because of this pandemic, it's more critical than ever that new donors sign up. Did you know that to give blood, the appointment won't take more than an hour of your day, the total time needed, and it won't take more than 15 minutes to actually give blood? According to NHS Blood and Transplant, there are currently 15,000 people in the UK with a health condition that mostly affects people of black, African or Caribbean heritage. It's called sickle cell disease, a lifelong inherited health condition that produces unusually shaped red blood cells that can block blood vessels. It's also a condition that often requires regular transfusions of rare blood types like RO, a subtype that black, African or Caribbean people are 10 times more likely to have. Sickle cell disease is the fastest growing genetic disorder in the UK. All in all, that means it's absolutely crucial that black Britons give blood. With every donation you make, the lives of up to 3 seriously sick adults or 6 unwell children could be saved. Now we have various prominent people on our panel, so I will request Sayyida Faraz Hussain to have a discussion with a doctor which we have on our panel.
جی بالکل، بہت شکریہ. بہت ہی بہترین طریقے سے آئی ایم شیور ویورز آپ تک پیغام پہنچ گیا ہوگا. آج کے پروگرام کا مقصد کہ یہ کیوں آپ کے ساتھ شیئر کیا جا رہا ہے کہ جیسے کہ ہم جانتے ہیں کہ ہماری کمیونٹی میں کی طرف سے اس حوالے سے کافی کہنا چاہیے کہ غفلت ہے، اور ہماری کمیونٹی اس حوالے سے آگاہی نہیں ہے کہ اس کے اوپر توجہ دی جائے، اور ہماری کمیونٹی کی طرف سے کمی ہے. اور خون اور جسمانی اعضاء کے عطیے کے حوالے سے پورے یو کے میں مختلف کمیٹی میں اس حوالے سے ڈسکشن ہو رہی ہے. این ایچ ایس بلڈ ٹرانسپلانٹ کی کوشش ہے کہ تمام کمیونٹی کے اندر وہ نیٹ ورک قائم کریں جس کے ذریعے سے آگے جا کے ہماری کمیونٹی کے لیے جو ہے وہ مفید ثابت ہو سکے. تو اس لیے آج ہم تھوڑا سا اپنی نالج کو امپروو کریں گے اور اپنے ایکسپرٹیز سے اس حوالے سے گفتگو کریں گے. اور سب سے پہلے میں ڈاکٹر عائزہ نقوی صاحبہ کو اپنے پروگرام میں ویلکم کرتی ہوں کہ بہت شکریہ کہ آپ نے ہمیں جوائن کیا ویری شارٹ نوٹس. اور آپ جو ہیں آج ہمیں جو اس کے میڈیکل ٹرم جو اس کی ہے کویشچنز ہیں جو ہمارے آئی تھنک ویور جس کے بارے میں جاننا چاہیں گے تو اس حوالے سے ہم آپ سے سوال کریں گے. میں کنٹرول روم سے ریکویسٹ کروں گی کہ اگر وہ کویشچن وہ اسکرین پر شو کریں تو اس آسانی ہو جائے گی ہمارے ویورز کو سمجھنے میں. تو ڈاکٹر عائزہ صاحبہ، پہلا کویشچن جو ہے وہ یہ ہے کہ ہم خون کیوں دیں؟ وائی گیو بلڈ؟
سب سے پہلے تو بہت بہت شکریہ آپ کا بلانے کا. مجھے اٹس آنریبل ٹو بی دیئر ٹو بی ہیئر ان دس پروگرام فار اے ویری ورتھی کاز. بلڈ ٹرانسفیوژن دینے کی بہت ضرورت اس لیے ہے کہ ایک تو ڈفرینٹ ریزن ہے. ایک تو ٹراما ریلیٹڈ کتنی سرجریز ہوتی ہیں، بلڈ ویسٹ ہوتا ہے، تو ایسے پیشنٹس جو کہ otherwise they are healthy but they are involved in trauma and they have lost lots of blood, so it's life saving procedure to give them blood. So one is a trauma related loss which people need. Otherwise as Mr. Mushtaq Ali Wazir mentioned about sickle cell disease, thalassemia, these are the other conditions where we need to have blood transfusions, and then anemia and lots of other blood disorders, they need blood transfusion. Apart from blood transfusion, we also need blood donation for extracting platelets and plasma and immunoglobulins, lots of other products from the blood which are used in different conditions, blood cancers and various treatments as well, various neurological conditions as well. So blood transfusion کی دینے سے جان بچائی جا سکتی ہے. اور جیسے we say in Quran, if you save one life, you've saved the humanity. So I think being Muslims, we should be at the forefront of this thing. ہمیں آگے بڑھ کے ہونا چاہیے بلڈ ڈونیشن کے لیے. اینڈ آپ کو پتا ہے یہ ہوئز حسین آرگنائزیشن ہے, دے ڈو دا بلڈ ڈونیشن کلیکٹ, وہ بھی کرتے ہیں, ان کی بھی کیمپین ہے, وچ از اے ویری گڈ اسٹیپ.
یہ ہے کہ کون کون لوگ ہیں جو خون دے سکتے ہیں؟
کوئی بھی دے سکتا ہے, ظاہر بچے نہیں, فرام دا ایج آف 17 پلس till 66 or something like 65 they can give, but there are some exceptions. If somebody is like, for example, 70-year-old and they have given blood in the last 2 years, and normally otherwise they are fit and well and healthy, so they can donate as well.
All right. اینڈ کویشچن نمبر 3 کہ کیا یہ صحیح ہے کہ خون کے مختلف قسمیں ہیں اور بعض قسموں کے خون کم پائے جاتے ہیں؟
جی بالکل. بلڈ ٹائپس, بلڈ گروپس ہوتے ہیں A, B, O, 3. They are present on our genes actually. They are transmitted in families because of the genetic makeup. So A, B, O, 3 major وہ ہیں. They can come in combination. So some people, so from a mother and father, if both are O positive, so kids will be O positive. But اگر کسی ایک کا, if somebody is A, if one spouse is A and the other is B, so kids can be A or B, or they can be a combination of A and B. So AB negative is the rarest form, جیسے آپ اسکرین پہ بھی دکھایا, اور O positive is the commonest. But the good thing about commonest, O positive commonest ہے, but it's they can't take blood from people of A group or B group, whereas AB group, they can take blood from A, B, O, or a combination of A, B.
Thank you so much. जी जी जी
The compatibility is important because anybody who, for example, if I'm A positive, then I have got antigens for A on my red blood cells, but my plasma, the liquid part of the blood, will have antibodies against B. So if I'm given a blood group containing B, my body will react against that blood. So it's important. So there will be a very big reaction disaster. So I think so that's why it's important to have a compatible blood.
तो क्वेश्चन नंबर 4 ये है कि कौन सी, चूंकि हमारे पास टाइम कम है लिहाजा हम जल्दी जल्दी क्वेश्चन कर रहे हैं, कौन सी किस्म खून की जो है वो बेहतर है, सबसे बेस्ट टाइप कौन सी है?
I think if somebody has got A B combination, then they are rare, but they will get they can have more options of having different types of blood donation.
ऑलराइट, एंड क्वेश्चन नंबर 5 के जो खून का अतिया हम देते हैं वो कैसे इस्तेमाल किया जाता है, यानी कि जो हम ब्लड डोनेट करते हैं तो उसको किस तरह से यूटिलाइज किया जाता है?
Blood donation, as I mentioned before, we use for various reasons. For if there is deficiency of blood, if somebody is anemic, then or in surgeries, blood is lost in the surgeries, or blood cancers, various reasons, or diseases like sickle cell disease, which require, or there are some blood cancers which are myelodysplasia and different myelofibrosis, different blood conditions in which you require regular blood transfusion. And these are life-saving conditions, life-saving procedures.
लास्ट क्वेश्चन नंबर 6 के खून का अतिया कहाँ जाकर दिया जा सकता है? Where can you donate?
There are different sites. There are some permanent sites. I think there are 20 plus 23 or some permanent sites in UK, different places. But there you can contact any hospital. They will have their own. They can guide your local hospital. They can guide you, or you can go on the like NHS website and find.
मतलब कि एज है कि हम बस उसी एज में दे सकते हैं या एट एनी एज हम?
As I said, after 17 years of age, if you're adult, like 18 plus, you can give at any time, any age. Obviously, they'll have to screen the blood. They'll have to look into the medical history of the patient, and then it's fine. Then they go ahead. And it's as Dr. and as Mr. Mushtaq mentioned about, it's just a 15-minute procedure maximum. 5 to 10 minutes it takes to give blood, donate blood.
थैंक यू सो मच। मैं बहुत ज़्यादा आपकी मशकूर व ममनून हूँ कि आपने टाइम निकाला और हमारे ऑडियंस की जो है वो मालूमात में इजाफ़ा फरमाया। आप लाइन पे रहिएगा, अगर हमारे व्यूअर्स कॉल करें तो फिर अगर कोई क्वेश्चन हो आपके लिए तो फिर आप उसका जवाब दे सकें। जी ब्रदर मिस्टर मुश्ताक अली, आप आगे फर्दर प्रोग्राम को आगे बढ़ाएं।
जी शुक्रिया, थैंक यू सो मच फरत Sayyida Farat Hussain. Now I will request our guest Sayyidul Haq Saeed and for an introduction. He's the lead organization of Citizens UK to throw some light on blood donation with the help of some statistics. Over to you, Sayyidul.
Assalamu alaikum. Thank you everybody for the opportunity to be with you today. You've heard a lot of facts. There's a lot of information just shared with you right now. I can't see what's on the screen because I can just see myself at the moment. But and I'll just share whilst there is a huge need, there is a massive need on blood donation by the NHS. It's a constant need that we have, but unfortunately within ethnic minority communities, the levels of donation are very low. So if you take ethnic minority communities as a complete group, the numbers are around 46,000 in 2018, 2019, 43,000 in 2019, 2020. You heard the numbers earlier. We need many more, the NHS, a year. But out of the, the BAME or the ethnic minority group, within the Asian community, that's even lower. So, 24,000 in 2019, 2020 was the figure. And as the speakers mentioned earlier, within the Black community, that's number is even much smaller. It's about 14,000 per year. So the concern that the NHS has, we've been speaking to our charity, Citizens UK, working with KSMC and many other community groups, is how do they get the message across? How do they share with people that there is a really important need for donating blood, because we need it. I've been in hospital where I've needed surgery, and I've never really stopped at that time to think, where did the blood come from? It's been always taken for granted as it's there. And so particularly for ethnic minority communities, the level of blood donation is very low, and within the Asian community, and furthermore within the Black community. So the request, it's on your screens right now. The numbers aren't very high. It might look tens of thousands, but the NHS needs far more than that. So tonight on your show, and in your kind time, everybody, for connecting in, is to try and get the message across. And the first point is to talk to family, talk to friends. And we heard earlier about the amazing work of Who's Hussein, who are going, arranging for people to give blood. So I think that's the headline message, as it's on the screen, that the numbers of donors are very low in our communities. I'm from the Bangladeshi community, and we are also included in that figure at the bottom.
Have we lost Sayyido?
I'm still here.
Yeah. Okay. So thank you very much, Sayyido. That was a very good description, and I'm sure, as you said, that the number of donors are really very, very low. We need to increase the donors and the awareness that how important it is to donate blood. So having said all this, we are now really honored to have Sheikh Nuru Muhammad in our studios, and we give him a very warm welcome, Sheikh. And Sheikh Nuru Muhammad, as we know, is a very renowned Sheikh. He's a prominent scholar known all over the world, and he's a resident alim here in Birmingham with Al Abbas Islamic Center, which is more commonly known as Clifton Mosque in Birmingham. Now, Sheikh, you heard various speakers talking about this important topic. So what, in your opinion, from religious viewpoint, how important it is to give blood, and how should people take it from a religious viewpoint? Sometimes they think that it's not allowed, or it's allowed, whatever. So would you please throw some light on this, basing this on Holy Quran as well?
Thank you, Mr. Mushtaq, for having me tonight for this important conversation. And I'm really excited that we're having this conversation, and I hope and pray this is the beginning of more of such conversation within our communities on our local TV channels. As Muslims, as believers, as lovers of the Holy Prophets, wherever we may be, our guide is the Holy Quran and the traditions of our beloved prophets. Without an iota of doubt, we all know central to our lives is our health. Without health, there is nothing I and you will be able to achieve in our life, with social, spiritual, or whatever we do in our lives. And we know very well that beautiful tradition of our beloved Prophet, where he made it crystal clear that there are two fundamental things in our lives. When we miss or we do not have them, we tend to realize how important they are. Number one, Prophet said peace of mind, and number two, he said health. Meaning peace of mind, tranquility, and health are crucial, and we need these two in our lives. To a certain extent, the Holy Prophet, when he was giving the commentary of that known beautiful verse of glorious Quran, ثُمَّ لَتُسْأَلُنَّ يَوْمَئِذٍ عَنِ النَّعِيمِ, that indeed on that day you'll be questioned of the blessings bestowed upon you by Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. The Holy Prophet, while he was counting or mentioning the blessings of Allah that we are going to be questioned about on the day of judgment, he mentioned health. That this health which is given to us by God is a trust, and we are going to be questioned about it. And I and you know very well, my dear brothers and sisters, that the Holy Prophet also said, benefit from 5 before 5 comes or come. One of them is health. That benefit from your health before you become sick. And so health is important. This is just to say, I as an individual, you as an individual, wherever you may be and whatever you do in your life, you need to take care of your health. Now let's come to the second discussion that I would like to share with you, which has to do with reaching out to those who are in need, to ensure that they also stay healthy and they are protected. We've heard it loud and clear from our guest tonight, from our sister who is a medical doctor, and from our lead organizer, Brother Said, and from our two hosts, how important it is to donate blood. Because you donating blood, number one, you are going to be rewarded by Almighty God, because you are saving someone's life, because somebody is going to survive and worship God and do good deeds because of the blood that you are donating. Let's look at Quran. As I said, it's our guide, and we all know this beautiful verse, Quran 5 verse 32. God makes it crystal clear as to the importance of giving life to one soul. Quran says, when you give life to one soul, meaning you become a means for someone to live healthy, for someone to survive in this world, for someone to continue to be in this world. If you become Dalil, means for that, you'll be given the reward of giving life to an entire nation. It's a very powerful verse. Quran 5 verse 32. You give life to one person, your reward is giving life to one whole nation. And of course, if one becomes a reason for someone to lose his or her life, the repercussion is also the same. So this is a calling from our beloved merciful Creator, from Allah, that we should compete in saving people's life. Again, our beloved Prophet on numerous occasions taught us the importance of relieving people of their hardships, of their difficulties. There are thousands of people out there who are in need of our blood to survive. Reach out to them, and you will never and ever regret for doing so. You'll see the benefit of it in this world, and hereafter you're also going to see the benefit of it. The Holy Prophet said, Man nafasa an mu'minin kurbatan min kurabi dunya, nafasallahu anhu kurbatan min kurabi yawmil qiyamah. Whoever relieves a believer or someone of his or her hardship in this world, his or her hardship will be relieved of him on the day of Qiyamah, meaning on the day of judgment. Then Prophet said, وَمَنْ يَسَّرَ عَلَى مُعْسِرٍ يَسَّرَهُ اللَّهُ فِي الدُّنْيَا وَالْآخِرَةِ. Look at it. First part of the tradition, Prophet mentioned believer, if you take care of a believer. But second part of the tradition, Prophet said, وَمَنْ يَسَّرَ عَلَى مُعْسِرٍ. Whoever makes it easy for whoever is in difficulties, whoever is in pain, whoever is in trouble, if you make it easy for that person, Allah will make it easy for you in this world and the hereafter. And then the last part of the tradition, Prophet said, Allah or God Almighty will continue to assist his servant so long as the servant continues to reach out to those who are in need. Let's take these traditions and reflect on these traditions. In addition to the verse we quoted earlier on, Prophet again mentioned, be mercy or be merciful unto those on earth, and the one in heaven will be merciful to you. People need our blood. We heard it from our lead organizer when he was in the hospital. Let's all try and donate blood, and we will see the blessings of it in this world and the hereafter. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sheikh. So beautifully you described that how blessed those people are who give blood, and how in the light of Quran we should all donate blood, because there are people out there in the hospitals who need blood, and because of various types of blood, as Dr. Aiza mentioned, it's so important for various people to give blood, because blood obviously is not just of one uniform type, it's of various types, and the hospitals, the doctors, the consultants, they have to match the blood. Till the time they can match the blood, they can't just transfuse the blood. So as you earlier said, it's very, very important, and it's such a noble cause that you are saving somebody's life. What better thing than saving somebody's life? You get the ajr in this dunya and in akhirah as well. So it is so important, and hence the discussion on this topic. Now, Sheikh, we have discussed, I think, quite a bit on blood donation. Would you like to enlighten our viewers with organ donation, please?
Thank you so much, Mr. Mushtaq. You know, when it comes to organ donation, but before I do that, I think it's important also I mention here, jurisprudentially, when it comes to blood donation, we do not have much of, differences of opinions amongst Muslims from different schools of thought. It is very easy and straightforward. When it comes to organ donation, yes, we have different opinions amongst Muslims depending on their schools of thought. My dear brothers and sisters, what is important first and foremost is to realize the need to save someone's life. That is very, very important, and Islam is clear about that. And so our scholars, depending on their schools of thought, discussed into details the question of organ donation. What we are doing here tonight is to stimulate discussions, is to encourage all and sundry, those who have tuned in tonight and those who will be watching this later on, to begin these discussions within your own cycles, within your own communities, and is to encourage our imams to discuss this on the pulpit, especially the Friday ones. Scholars from different schools of thought. When I talk of schools of thought, I'm talking of Islamic schools of thought, are of different opinions. There are those who are of the view that one is allowed to donate organs when he is alive, but not when he departs from this world. That's first group. We do have them amongst Muslims. And then the second groups are those who categorized or divided organs into two. We have the minor organs and we have the major organs. Example of a minor organ is blood, which we have just finished discussing. And minor organ, of course, again, is like bone marrow. And then the major one, of course, is the kidney and the likes. So the second group are of the view that when it comes to minor organs, you can donate them in this world easily without any hesitancy, if you like. But when it comes to the major ones, this is the second group. You can donate them in this world, but when you depart from this world, so long as you leave a will behind for your organ to be donated, you are allowed to do so. So this is the second group. And then of course you've got the third group who have the view that no, you are free to donate while you are alive, and when you depart from this world, so long as taking your organ will not causes one's body to be mutilated, then you are allowed to do so. But if it will cause the body to be mutilated, then it is not allowed. So that's also another school of thought. And then of course the last school of thoughts are those who are of the opinion that you are allowed to donate while you are in this world, this dunya, and of course you are allowed to donate also when you depart from this world, so long as you leave behind a will. So what I would like really to plead with you, my dear viewers, my dear brothers and sisters, wherever you may be, is that this should not stop from here. Take this conversation to your scholars. Take these conversations to your schools of thought. Discuss it with your imams, and then get the view of your school of thought, and of course go by that view. But what we are really emphasizing here and trying to encourage all and sundry is that civil life is crucial, and we need to compete in civil life.
Thank you very much, Sheikh. What you have suggested is fantastic, and we all know at some point in our lives or our loved ones' lives we may need organ transplant, but as you rightly stated, there still remains some ambiguity on the matter, and a lot of research needs to be done. We need to carry on this discussion as a community, and it would be fantastic as next step we get together with friends from health and religious background and unpick this topic and have a further discussion, inshallah, and we will endeavor to do that in the future. Now I'll hand over to my co-host Sayyida Farat Hussain if she wants to throw some light on this.
Yes, sure. Thank you so much. बहुत ही यूज़फुल गुफ्तगू हमारे रिस्पेक्टेड आलिम दीन शेख नूरू मोहम्मद ने फरमाई है, और उस हवाले से बस मैं थोड़ा सा अपने उर्दू के व्यूअर्स के जो उर्दू ज़बान से ज़्यादा वाकिफ़ हैं, तो थोड़ा सा उनकी बात को समरी करूँगी कि जैसा कि आपने ब्लड डोनेशन के हवाले से बात की, खून की अतिया के हवाले से बात की कि हर स्कूल ऑफ थॉट में अलाउ है कि खून का अतिया दिया जा सकता है, और आपने रेफरेंस भी दिया सूरह मायदा की आयत नंबर 32 का कि जिसमें अल्लाह सुब्हानहू व तआला इरशाद फरमाता है कि एक ज़िंदगी का बचाना पूरी इंसानियत को बचाने के बराबर है, पूरी इंसानियत को बचाना है, और ये बहुत हेल्दी भी है। हकीकतन जो हम कहते हैं ना कि हमारे इस्लाम में हजामा की इजाज़त है कि जो आप करते हैं तो कीप योर बॉडी हेल्दी, कि आप जो खून निकल जाता है तो वो नया खून आपका हर 40 आई थिंक अगर मैं गलत नहीं हूँ तो हर 40 डेज़ पे आपका जो है नया खून बनता है। तो अगर हम किसी को खून का अतिया देंगे तो हमारे अंदर कोई कमी नहीं आएगी इंशाअल्लाह। इंशाल्लाह और हमारी हेल्थ इम्प्रूव होगी. और जहाँ उन्होंने बात की जिस्मानी आज़ा की डोनेशन की, तो वो भी बहुत क्लियरली आप तक पैगाम पहुँचा दिया है कि मुख्तलिफ स्कूल ऑफ थाट की मुख्तलिफ ओपिनियंस हैं, और बेस्ट इज़ कि आप जिसकी तक़लीद करते हैं, जिस स्कूल ऑफ थाट को आप फॉलो करते हैं, उनके एक्सपर्टीज़, उनके उलमाए दीन से आप कंसर्न करके, रुजू करके इस हवाले से जो है मज़ीद इंफॉर्मेशन हासिल कर सकते हैं. हमारा मकसद इस प्रोग्राम का ये था अवेयरनेस पैदा करना अपनी कम्युनिटी में कि इसके हवाले से जो हैं वो आगे बढ़ें और इसमें अपना हिस्सा डालें, और ताकि जो मुश्किलात पेश आ रही हैं, हमारे जो मरीज़ हैं और जो मुश्किलात में हैं, जो डोनर का इंतज़ार करें मुख्तलिफ डिज़ीज़ की वजह से. मैं ख़ुद एक्सपीरियंस मेरा हुआ है, मेरे हस्बैंड को जो है वो लीवर कैंसर था और उनका ट्रांसप्लांट हुआ, तो जाहिर है कि किसी ने उनको लीवर डोनेट किया, जब भी तो उनका इलाज हुआ और उनकी लाइफ का कुछ हिस्सा बढ़ गया. तो हकीकत है कि हम सब को न जाने कब किस वक्त इस चीज़ों, इस सिचुएशन में आना पड़े और फिर हम जो हैं वो फ्रस्ट्रेटेड हों. तो बेहतर है कि हम इस हवाले से अपनी कम्युनिटी का और NHS का जो है उनके साथ ताउन करें, और एक बेहतर ज़िंदगी हम किसी को अगर दे सकते हैं अपने ब्लड डोनेशन के ज़रिए से या ऑर्गन डोनेशन के ज़रिए से, तो ये बहुत ही बेहतरीन सवाब जारिया होगा, और इंशाल्लाह दीन और दुनिया दोनों में हमें इसका अजर ज़रूर मिलेगा. आप कुछ और फरमाएंगे, या हमारे प्रोग्राम का वक्त कितना बाकी रह गया, मैं ज़रा कंट्रोल रूम से पूछना चाहूँगी. 10 मिनट्स अभी हमारे पास हैं, तो हम अपने व्यूअर्स से रिक्वेस्ट करते हैं अपने व्यूअर से कि अगर के वो लोग कोई क्वेश्चन है उनका हमारे स्कॉलर के लिए या हमारे डॉक्टर के लिए, तो प्लीज़ हमें कॉल करें, प्रोग्राम में शामिल हो, और ताकि हम आपके जो कन्फ्यूजन है, अगर हम इस मैसेज को कन्वे करने में कहीं हम लोगों ने अच्छे से कन्वे नहीं किया है, तो वो कन्फ्यूजन दूर हो सके. तो हम इंतज़ार करते हैं अपने व्यूअर्स की कॉल का. हमारी लाइंस जो हैं वो ओपन हो चुकी हैं, तो आप लोग कॉल करके हमारे प्रोग्राम में शामिल हो सकते हैं. और मज़ीद कुछ आप गुफ्तगू करना चाहें?
मैं कहूँगा कि anybody who wants to clarify anything about blood and organ donation, please do call us live. We are live here, and we've got a doctor here, we've got a Sheikh here, and we'll try and answer your questions as much as possible. And whilst we wait for our callers to call us, I'm so grateful to all my guests, and we'll try and see if they have to say anything else on such an important topic. So I'll go back to Saeedul and see if he has any more comments on this very important topic.
For me, this is a very amazing evening class. First, we have Sheikh here, and we also got Dr. Natvi here as well. So it was a science, also a fit class this evening. So what a very wonderful program. So I just, what I've learned from the message this evening on blood donation, which doesn't seem to be controversial, is make the niyat. The brothers and sisters in Who is Hussein are making it easy, but make the niyat yourself to go and give blood. And once you do it the first time, we become used to it. So in Birmingham, there is a blood donation center in the city center. They're making it easy. So when you go you're shopping, for the sales, you can pop in and then give blood. So make the intention, go do that, and so that becomes easier. They will talk to you, in the center. They won't just, when you walk through the door, straight away within a minute, they'll grab your arm and take a blood off you. They will talk to you, and any questions you have, and they will answer. So these guys are highly professional. The second, on organ donation, Sheikh has laid it out really well, and in the kind of 4 different categories of thought. And I think the request there is, especially when you are having a conversation with a loved one, you know, who is having thoughts about this, is, you know, go and talk to your imam, go and talk to your community. You know, you shouldn't see this as taboo. You should see this as a conversation. So at least as Sheikh kind of laid out, you know, the four kind of groups of thinking within Islam, you know, go and ask your imam and go and ask your family, like, where are we? Which one are we on this? You know, and so my dad is a alim. He's retired. So after here, when I go have dinner with him, that's one of the questions I'm going to ask. You know, Dad, which one are we on this scale? I got an idea. I can guess it's one of them, but I don't want to say it on the program right now in front of everybody. But at least what you have given us, Sheikh, is a framework. You know, for those of us who are lay people, who are not scholars, you know, who are not clinically qualified, at least you've given us a framework to have a conversation with our loved ones and with our imams as well. So what I take from this is, first, the less controversial one is give blood. You know, even if you're not going to go and give blood in the bull ring or near it in Birmingham, where else you might be, just pop in and have a conversation. You know, you don't need to, on your first instance, go in and just give blood. You know, have a conversation. You know, talk to people, and then the second is, you know, have that conversation about organ donation, where you stand, because as the elders, the sister mentioned, you know, having conversation about lived donation. So if you're still alive and you're donating an organ, you know, as well, you know, that's being more common. So what we're not trying to do this evening, it's very helpful, is, you know, let people walk away with a definitive answer, because you know what happens, everyone seems to like preach on others. But Sheikh, I found that really helpful and very beautiful, to be able to, you know, lay out the categories and for us to have that conversation. And I think this is what the NHS wants to learn, is how do we, in our communities, you know, we have this conversation. And thank you ever so much for your program.
Now I'll request Dr. Aiza if she would like to throw some light on this towards the end, please.
Yeah, thank you very much. So I think I'll talk about organ donation, because that's more, I think people have got more confusions about that. So as Sheikh mentioned about that one school of thought says that if the body is not deformed, then they are allowed to have organ donation. So I just wanted to make a point in saying that, just to assure you people that when the organ donation process starts, the body is taken to the theatre immediately after death, and they do the surgeons, the specific like a specialist surgeon, they do this procedure in a very, very dignified way. They do the incision as they would do in a live person, and they'll stitch the incision afterwards. They'll dress it properly, so it is not mutilated. So that's just to assure that that's done in a very dignified way. That's one point. A second point I want to say is that last year more than 400 people died because they were on the waiting list for transplant organs and they couldn't get the transplant. And because we have got the minority people, ethnic minority, it's better for them to have organ donation from their own community, because we have got everybody has got different genetic makeup. So transplant patients have got lots of challenges because they are more prone to infections and stuff. So if they take from the same race, then it's much easier. Their life becomes much easier, the people who are recipients. So I think it's important, if we don't have organ donations from our community, then people of our community will suffer more, because so that's again sad. So I think everybody should be donating. Thirdly, I want to mention that because of these issues with people dying on the waiting list and not getting enough organ donations, the government made a policy of opt-out scheme. Like everybody who dies, now there's a policy, if they haven't made a decision in their life about organ donation, then automatically it will be assumed that they have agreed for organ donation after death. However, still, if a person dies and they haven't discussed anything about during their life, they haven't discussed about organ donation on this topic, or they haven't registered any interest, then after that, doctors will not go and just take the organ away from their body. They will still discuss with the family, and if the family refuses to give the organ, doctors will not take that away. So that's another. I just want to assure people that that's another thing. Yeah, I think these are the main things. Yeah, the other thing is it's important to discuss your views within your families, because within your with the next of kin or within your own family, we should all be discussing those things. And if somebody is very clear that they don't want to donate their organ, they should go on NHS organ donation register, and they can register their interest, and they can say, I do not want to donate. And that's one way. And if they want to donate, they can say they want to donate, or even if they don't say they want to donate, it will be assumed that they have got no objections in donating after that. That's the legal scenario nowadays.
Thank you so much, Dr. Aiza, for some very useful comments there. Now I'll invite Sheikh Nuru to sum up his comments on this because we are short of time. So over to you, Sheikh.
No, thank you so much. Thanks to Brother Saeed and our Dr. Aiza for really wonderful contributions. I would like to echo what I said earlier on. This is the beginning of the conversation, and we should take these conversations on board, discuss it with our families, discuss it with our imams or our religious leaders within our communities. And I will encourage our imams also to make some time to discuss this with the members of their communities and to let people understand their points of view depending on the schools of thought they subscribe to. And we heard it loud and clear. When it comes to blood donation, it's easy going, you know. So I will really plead with my dear brothers and sisters, let us try as much as we can to pop in, go to those centers, go to those hospitals, you know. Even if you're not going to donate your blood, as we heard it from Brother Saeed al-Haq, have some conversations with them, or just call your GP and talk to your GP about it, you know. It will definitely go a long way, and you will forever be happy with yourself when you are able to do something like this. So please, my dear brothers and sisters, let us go out there. There are people who are suffering from our communities, and we heard it loud and clear from the doctor. We should not wait. Let this be a means of stimulating you to go out there and do something about blood donation and organ donation.
Thank you so much, Sheikh. I thank all my guests and my co-host for taking part in this program and making this program successful. And before we wind up, I hand over to my co-host, Sayyid Farad Hussain Sahaba.
बहुत शुक्रिया जी नाजरीन। अब हमारे प्रोग्राम जो है वो इख्तिताम पजीर हो रहा है। हम बहुत शुक्रगुजार हैं अपने रिस्पेक्टेड तमाम गेस्ट्स के कि जिन्होंने हमें अपना कीमती टाइम दिया और हमारे साथ अपनी इंफॉर्मेशन जो है वो शेयर की है, और मुझे उम्मीद है कि हमारे व्यूअर्स ने इससे काफ़ी इस्तिफ़ादा हासिल किया होगा, काफ़ी मालूमात में इजाफ़ा हुआ होगा। वैसे अगर आप जो है मज़ीद इस हवाले से इस टॉपिक को चाहते हैं कि डिस्कस किया जाए और ज़्यादा डिटेल में इसके ऊपर बात की जाए, तो आप हमें feedback@hidayat.tv पे आप जो हैं वो अपने सजेशन, अपने क्वेश्चन, अपनी ओपिनियन जो है वो हमारे साथ शेयर कर सकते हैं, और हम आपके मैसेज को जो है वो हम अपनी एक्सपर्टीज़ की तरफ रुजू करेंगे। और जो हमारी जो जमात है, आप उससे भी कांटेक्ट कर सकते हैं, इस हवाले से मज़ीद इंफॉर्मेशन हासिल कर सकते हैं। बहुत शुक्रिया अगेन हमारे तमाम गेस्ट का और हमारे को होस्ट मिस्टर मुश्ताक अली वज़ीर साहब का, और हमारी सिस्टर डॉक्टर आयज़ा नकवी साहिबा, brother Sayyidul Haq Saeed Sahab, and most respected ہمارے اسکالر شیخ نورو محمد صاحب کا کہ جنہوں نے آج کے اس پروگرام میں شرکت فرمائی اور ہمارے ویورز کی معلومات میں اضافہ کیا. اللہ سبحانہ تعالیٰ سے دعا گو ہوں پالنے والے چہارد معصومین کے صدقے میں تمام مسلمانوں کو, تمام انسانیت کو اپنے حفظ و امان میں رکھے, صحت و سلامتی کے ساتھ رکھے, اپنا اور اپنے عزیز و اقارب کا خیال رکھیے گا. ہدایت ٹی وی اس کی انٹائر ٹیم کو اپنی دعاؤں میں یاد کیجیے گا. والسلام علیکم ورحمۃ اللہ وبرکاتہ.